Mediumship and the ability to connect with spirit and loved ones on the other side is something that can be learned and honed by all of us. And my goal is to awaken as many people to that fact as possible. Those are the things that we're going to talk about today. Is mediumship a gift? Is it for the chosen? Are we all mediums? What is a natural medium? For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Mary. I'm an evidential psychic medium and animal communicator, and I am not gifted. Wait, what did I just say? That's right. I am not gifted because mediumship is not a gift. In fact, it's actually a pet peeve of mine when people refer to psychic mediumship, psychic abilities, and mediumship in general as being a gift. Calling mediumship a gift would indicate that A, it is only for the chosen or only for those that are special, which simply isn't true, and I'll explain more on that later. And B, it would also indicate that it doesn't take work to excel at or to do well with, which also isn't true. Everyone is born with mediumship abilities, which by definition include psychic abilities. The difference is that some people cover them up with layers of chatter and what I'll call muck, and need to work a little bit harder to uncover those layers and get down to the root of those abilities to best utilize them. They need to work a bit harder and longer than others to get to the abilities and utilize them to the same degree that others are able to utilize them. This brings me to the term natural medium. I mean, seriously, we're all natural mediums, so we should stop using that term. I dislike that term very, very much. We are all born as natural mediums. Nobody is special or better than the other. Nobody is a natural medium versus somebody who is not. We should stop using the term natural medium because it's degrading to everyone else. Do we call somebody a natural singer or a natural painter? No, we don't. We call them a singer or a painter. A medium is no different. The thing is that some of us do take to mediumship a bit more quickly than others, and that is okay. But that does not make such people natural mediums. That makes such people individuals who found their raw materials a little bit quicker and just happen to be good at using them. That's all. Like somebody who just so happened to be born with vocal cords, being able to sing really, really well since the age of 2, versus somebody who maybe needed to take years of singing lessons privately to be able to sing at the same level or close to the same level as the first person. Or another individual who maybe they picked up a paintbrush and they were painting at maybe really excelled levels or really beautiful paintings because they happened to be born with fingers to be able to do so, versus somebody else who was also born with fingers or maybe a mouth to hold a paintbrush with, and they needed to take college courses or various classes at their local art center, and they're doing that because they desire to be a painter and they want to train to be better at it or to maybe get to the same level as the first person. All people in these scenarios have the same raw materials to do the same things, and all of them have the ability to get to the same levels, but some of them take to it more quickly than others. Mediumship is the exact same way. Yet we do not call people natural painters or natural singers. We don't call people natural carpenters or natural plumbers. Yet anyone can be taught to achieve these skill sets because they do have the necessary components present to work in the same ways, just like mediumship. We can all undergo mediumship development, which is essentially schooling or training to become a psychic medium. And we can all undergo mediumship development because we all have the necessary component present to become a medium, and that is a soul. We are all souls. Mediumship truly is not as magical as it sounds or as magical as people make it out to be. Actually, mediumship is a blending of science and spirituality. It is truly where science and spirituality intersect. More so than anything supernatural, it's the blending of science and spirituality. Mediumship is soul-to-soul communication and works through energy. It works through our soul energy. So just like everyone can paint because they have fingers or a mouth to hold a paintbrush, we can all engage in mediumship because we all have soul or soul energy to blend soul to soul and work through mediumship. So yes, we are all mediums. The difference is the levels that we start out with and what some of us will use mediumship development for. Some of us will use mediumship development largely because we want to be the best version of ourselves and the best mediums that we can possibly be. These types of people would be the ones who do take to it fairly easily or fairly quickly. They would still want to use mediumship development because they want to be the best mediums that they can possibly be in order to best serve or best blend with the spirit world. Whereas there are going to be other people who are going to need mediumship development to simply connect or to make that initial blend to begin with. But we can all connect with spirit, and this is why. Mediumship is possible through energy. Energy never goes away. Energy is all around us. It is in everything and everyone, including us and including you and including all of our loved ones in the spirit world. To understand energy is to understand that it vibrates at different rates or frequencies. And how slow or how fast those rates and frequencies are determines whether or not something vibrates slow enough to be seen with the naked eye or too quickly or too fast to be seen with the naked eye. An example would be the couch or the wall or an object that you can tangibly hold in your hands and see with the naked eye. That would be an example of something that vibrates very slow. It is dense versus something that vibrates very, very fast and is at a higher frequency, which would be something such as radio waves that you cannot see with your naked eye. Very simplified explanation, but you get the gist. When we are living in these human bodies, we are walking, breathing, thought, consciousness, and knowing in a human body, which is its own being of energy. Our thoughts, emotions, knowings, our consciousness, or what we otherwise know as our identity, that energy, those frequencies are much higher, are much faster than the energies and frequencies of what makes up our skin and our bones, or even the frequencies of what makes up the beating of our heart. But all of those aforementioned, those listed items are frequencies and energies just the same. In other words, our entire humanness, as well as our entire being of consciousness, are all comprised of various energies and various frequencies. Also, in other words, our soul vibrates at an exponentially higher frequency than our human body and all of its biological processes. And all of us humans have both a human body and a soul. This is where mediumship mixes the science in with the spirituality. Although science is actually making truly amazing strides at proving the existence of life after death, at proving the existence of the human soul in general, as well as proving the existence of consciousness after death. Really amazing strides, and I do think that it's not going to be long before it is widely accepted. Since we do have both a body and a soul, where you mix spirituality and science together here, where it intersects, we are comprised of a multitude of frequencies, ranging from quite low to quite high. However, as human beings walking this earth plane, we have quite often become accustomed to relying extremely heavily on the lower frequencies, because those are the frequencies we can see with our eyeballs, with our naked eyes, and we have been taught and conditioned to believe that if we cannot see it, it does not exist. And therefore, we have conditioned in ourselves a reliance on the lower frequencies almost exclusively. And interestingly enough, this is one of the ways that so many of us, especially through the generations, have created layer upon layer upon layer of what I earlier referred to as muck and mind chatter, bearing our mediumship capabilities and our psychic capabilities from our human minds. This conditioning is what has disconnected us from our own innate soul's capability, from our own reminder and knowing of the fact that we are all actually mediums, that we are all actually energetic beings who can energetically communicate, that it is for all of us. But this conditioning of if you cannot see it, it does not exist, and that being taught and passed through generation after generation has disconnected us from that innate ability and that innate knowing of what is our energetic, scientific capability, and if you want to call it a birthright, I guess, it has created those layers of muck that some of us need to dig through a little bit more so than others do. The reality is, at the end of the day, we all have access to higher frequencies within ourselves. And by nature of how science works, with access to those higher frequencies within ourselves, we also have access to higher frequencies outside of ourselves. A whole range of internal and external frequencies, actually. If you think about it, we access higher frequencies constantly, frequencies that are too high to be seen with the naked eye, such as sounds or biological processes that are too quick to be visualized, and we're constantly accessing them. And some of them we trust because they have been scientifically proven to us over time. There are other frequencies that we're going to get there, but there's no reason that we can't trust them once we've reached an innate knowing of being able to trust them. My point here is that you have access to a gamut of higher frequencies at all times. And their frequency is that they may be lower than your soul's frequency. However, just because you can't see your soul's frequency with your naked eye doesn't mean that it does not exist. You cannot see the frequencies that you hear with your ears either, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. The fact that we all have access to those higher frequencies, including what I know to be our soul's frequency, I know that we all have access to our soul frequency. Mediumship only means reconnecting your own human mind to that frequency. That's all it is. And the fact that we all have the capability to do so, that's all mediumship is. Because you have a soul and because you have a brain, if you are here walking and breathing in a human body, you, by definition, have both a human brain, because you're alive, and a soul, because you're alive in a human body. You have both. So by definition, you have the raw materials present to be a medium. All mediumship is reconnecting your human brain to the frequency, to the higher frequency of your soul, to receive transmissions from that frequency in the form of information that your brain is able to transmute or translate. That's all mediumship is. Mediumship and the ability to connect with spirit and loved ones on the other side is something that can be learned and honed by all of us. And my goal is to awaken as many people to that fact as possible. That is precisely why I developed my self-paced workshop, Limitless, a soul workshop for spirit awareness. I truly, truly want more people to be able to connect to their loved ones and maintain a soul relationship with their loved ones on the other side without needing to use a psychic medium like me. I truly know that that is a possibility for everyone, and my goal is to help get as many people there as absolutely possible. So if you want more information about that, I have placed a link below in the description. Be sure to check that out. In the meantime, if you are interested in more content about spirit, the other side, mediumship, or further information about learning how to connect to spirit for yourself, be it mediumship development or learning how to connect to your own loved ones, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you are able to check out my future content. Otherwise, until next time, much love. Bye.